All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to be revealing the top 3 AI tools that can supercharge your business and put you ahead of 99% of the industry. So without any further ado, let's dive in with tool number 1. Alrighty, so this first one that I created is basically, it's like a little role play bot so that you can practice and refine your skill sets to sell insurance. So whether you're selling annuities, IULs, mainly advanced market products, but you can use this for anything. It will basically role play back and forth with you and give you coaching and feedback on how you can improve your process. So let me just show you guys a little example here. Hello.
Hey there. Let's kick this off right. First question. What product are you selling today?
I'm selling annuities.
Got it. What kind of annuity are we talking about? Fixed indexed, MYGA, variable.
Fixed index, but the prospect that I'm talking to doesn't know anything about annuities.
Perfect setup. Now, who's the buyer persona? Give me age, gender, income, occupation, concerns. Paint the picture for me.
All right, so just so you guys have context, by the way, what you're doing here is you're picking who you want to speak to, so you can give it any buyer persona. So just for this example, just surprise me. So then it's going to think, and then it's going to ask me, I think the next
Got
one
it.
is...
I'll throw you a curveball then. Third question. What objection difficulty level do you want on a scale from 1 to 10?
Do a 7.
Nice. That's a fun one. Skeptical, but still in the game. Now, what stage of the sales process are we in? Intro, follow-up, objection handling, trial close, or full-on close?
Let's do appointment setting.
Love it. Last one. Any specific objections or behaviors you want me to hit you with? Or just let it flow naturally?
Just let it flow naturally.
All right, then. Here we go. Ring, ring. Yeah, hello? This is Rick. Who's this?
Rick, what's going on, man? This is Tim. I was just giving you a call. I saw you had requested some information to learn more about the annuities. How's it going?
I mean, I might have clicked something online a while back, but honestly, I don't even know what annuities are. What is this? Like some kind of investment thing?
Sort of. It's, a simple way to put it is it's a way to safeguard a certain amount of your money. That way you can't lose it in the stock market. Most people will use it just so they have like a little bit more of a secure retirement. What are you doing for retirement currently? Do you have 401ks or things like that?
Yeah, I've got a 401k through work. Company matches a bit. I toss in what I can. But I mean, isn't that enough? Why would I need this annuity thing on top of that? Sounds kind of redundant.
Yeah, great question. The biggest thing with a 401k is it's tied to the stock market. So I think on the form you filled out, you said your age was like 65. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just turned 65 last month, actually. But I'm not planning to retire right away. Probably work another few years. Still, my 401k has been doing all right. So again, I don't really see the point in moving anything. Isn't now kind of a bad time to make changes anyway, with how everything's up and down?
Yeah, fair question. I mean, the biggest thing is, it's not for everybody. So this is not like a call to tell you this is something you should do, but just so you kind of understand the strategy, and then we could see if it made sense in your situation. People will move a percentage of their money over into something like this if it makes sense. That way, if they go to retire, like let's say, for example, you said you're not planning on retiring right now. If you wanted to retire in 2 years at 67, what would you do if the market all of a sudden crashed 20 or 30%?
I mean, yeah, I'd be screwed, I guess. I'd probably just have to keep working longer, ride it out. But that's the game, right? Ups and downs. Isn't that just how it works? I've always heard annuities lock up your money and you lose flexibility. That's what worries me.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't have to be the way it works. Is that an outcome that you're comfortable with, having to delay retirement? And I'm happy to address the fees in just a moment.
No, of course I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm also not going to just hand over control of my money to some insurance company. I've worked too hard for that. And you said it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah? So what? This annuity somehow dodges market crashes and keeps me flexible. That sounds like sales talk, man.
I mean, you can say that, but that's not the truth, man. That's literally the entire point of the product, is it locks up a percentage of your money where it can't be, you can't lose it in the market. That's kind of the whole point. Now, in terms of, the locking up of your money, it really just depends on the particular annuity that you pick. What I think would probably make the most sense here in this situation is just kind of putting up the cards on the table, seeing what you got going on, and I could explain how the annuity works and how it could potentially fit into your plan. And if it makes sense, I could show you options. If not, then at least you know that you looked into it and it's not for you. So with that call, usually we do that over Zoom. I have a few slots available either later today or tomorrow. What works better for you?
I mean, you're not as pushy as I expected, I'll give you that. But I still don't like jumping into something when I don't even know what questions to ask. I don't want to sit on a Zoom and get talked into something I don't fully understand. You got like something you can send me first? A brochure or video or something I can read through before I waste your time or mine?
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely send you over some material. But to be honest, I pretty much could answer whatever questions you have. And just so you know, like my incentive is not to push you into anything that you don't need. If this is not something you even want to explore, that's totally fine. I was just reaching out because you had filled out the form. But at the very least, don't you think it would make sense to see what your options are? And then if it does make sense, you could explore it further. And if it doesn't, then at least you know. Wouldn't that make sense?
All right, yeah, fine. That's fair. I'm not saying yes to anything, but I'll hear you out. Let's set the Zoom for tomorrow. Just don't waste my time with fluff. I want straight talk, all right?
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan. Cool. I got you down for tomorrow. I could do either earlier in the day or later in the day. What works better for you? Cool. And we'll just cut it there. Go straight and give me feedback. So what it's then going to do is it's going to coach me and give me feedback based off of the call. So listen.
All right. Here's your feedback, raw and real. What you did well. You kept your tone steady, calm, and respectful, even when I pushed back. You didn't overreact to objections, and you anchored the conversation around real risk, market loss. You also set up the Zoom close with good framing. No pressure, just education. Where you slipped, you danced a little too soft around the control objection. When I pushed about locking up my money, you gave a vague, depends on the annuity answer. That's weak sauce at level 7. I needed more clarity and confidence from you there. Also, you leaned a bit too heavily on just see if it makes sense. It started to sound like a fallback line rather than a powerful reason. Objections you didn't fully close. You never squared up the control objection. You gave me reasons, but not reassurance. I still felt unsure about liquidity and flexibility. That doubt lingers into appointments. Score control 7, clarity 6, persuasion 7, close 8. Coaching tips 1. When someone hits you with, I don't want to lock up.
So as you can see, guys, it's going to give me a bunch of feedback on what I did well and what I could do better. So there you go. What you did well, where you slipped, objections you didn't cover, score, coaching tips, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole point of this AI that we created and how you can use it is you can tighten up your sales process. So it could say, it's like, okay, cool. I could go, all right, cool. So how should I overcome that objection in the future? And then it's going to give me the exact word track that I should use. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Totally fair. Nobody wants their money back. But here's the thing. Your 401k is already locked up. If you pull it from it the wrong way, you've got taxes, penalties, and market fees. The question isn't locked up or flexible. It's how much control and protection do you actually want? Boom. And it will give me exactly how to overcome the objection. So that's the first way. Let me show you guys the second way to use AI. The first way is to train yourself to get better at sales and close more deals. All right, this one's super cool. This is a retirement expert GPT. So what I can do is I can give it any client situation and it's going to make a recommendation in terms of how I could approach them and what I could do for them. So let's list out a situation. All right, so I'm looking to help a 45-year-old who is making about $250,000 a year. They're looking to save for retirement, and they ultimately want to retire tax-free, and they just want to make sure that their money is safe and stable. They're currently maxing out their 401k and also maxing out a Roth IRA. They're saving about $7,000 per month, but they think that they could potentially do more, and they want to retire by age 65. So you just give it all of the information that you have on your client. We're going to paste it in there. Boom, client summary, and it's just going to summarize what it said. And then it'll ask any follow-up questions if it needs advice. So here we go. Client summary, annual income, retirement goal, tax preference, current contributions, top concerns, key risks. So it's going to identify risks based off of what we said. Future tax increases, high probability given national debt and tax history, market volatility, sequence of returns risk, over-reliance on tax deferred, strategic overview. Client is saving aggressively and already using tax advantage accounts. Now the challenge is optimizing tax-free growth, stable income, and future liquidity without overloading. They're in an ideal position to implement power of zero layering. Paths to consider: overfunded IUL or whole life, or tax-free growth, access, and legacy. Consider Roth conversion ladder, annuities, and then brokerage. So IUL versus whole life, it'll give me the pros and cons of each for their situation. What the experts might say, the plain client explanation. So this is essentially what you would tell the client. So you've done a great job so far. You're saving aggressively and you're using Roth and 401k efficiently. The next step is making sure your future income won't be taxed. Agent-friendly summary. So this just tells you, like, in simple terms. Okay, cool. What's the problem? Too much reliance on tax-deferred accounts like 401k. What's the proposed solution? Layer a LERP, IUL, or whole life. Explore Roth laddering, possibly secure income and annuity. So it's just going to tell me exactly what to do and then give me next steps. Run an illustration for an overfunded IUL and whole life. Consider a Roth conversion strategy. Explore annuity illustration for income floor at age 65. Review 401k for a mega backdoor Roth capability. So let's say I don't know what any of this means. Okay, can you explain a Roth laddering strategy and how I would do a mega backdoor Roth and overall just what that means in simple plain terms? So then I can ask this. It's an expert and trained on pretty much everything in retirement. So let's break it down in real world language. Roth laddering strategy, traditional to Roth conversions. What is it? Roth laddering means gradually converting money from a traditional IRA or 401k into a Roth IRA. You pay taxes as you convert, but you control how much and when, aiming to do it strategically when your tax bracket's low. So then it would tell me exactly how to do it, what is it, why it's powerful, and then how to do it. Max out a regular 401k. Boom, boom, boom. So it'll tell me exactly how to help them do all of this stuff. And then if you give me an analogy in terms of how I could explain it to the client. Now, disclaimer, because this is obviously like, it's an AI, so it can make mistakes, which is why it has this disclaimer here. But you can use this to like get quick answers on what you should do for a client. So I'll give another example. All right, I'm talking to a 62-year-old who wants to get an IUL. Does it make sense in their situation, or should I consider something else like an annuity? Okay, so now it's going to ask me follow-up questions to make sure it's giving good advice. Are they still are they retired or still working? Okay, they're currently retired. They don't need income for a while. They have other sources of income like Social Security, no pension. They're in good health. I think they could get approved. They would be funding the IUL with a lump sum, and they're looking for income is the biggest thing. Tax-free income. So we'll put this in. Now let's see what it says. All right, key risks, cost of insurance, need max funded design. So product paths to compare IUL. Alternative would be an annuity. IUL versus annuity, and it's going to explain the pros and cons. And then I'll just say, like, put it simply, should I do IUL or annuity? Boom. Guaranteed income, but taxable and less flexible. So it'll tell me based off of like what the client wants, which path to consider and ultimately what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Retirement Expert GPT. And then the last one I'm going to show you guys is super cool. It's actually a chat bot that will set appointments with your leads. So I'm going to show that to you now. Alrighty, so let me show you guys how this bot works. So basically we have this drip text that goes out, and then a follow-up text is going to go out. I didn't actually trigger the full automation. But if I reply to this phone number, right, let's just do, okay, cool. I'll text it back. And then it's going to have the bot is going to start reaching out to me. So whenever you actually have this going live, when your prospect replies to the text, the bot will immediately take over. So great. Thanks for confirming. Just to get a feel for where you're at, how much do you know about IULs already? Not a ton, just saw the ad. Now, mind you, I'm not replying, like I'm replying on my phone to this AI bot. So great, thanks for confirming. Not a ton, just saw the ad. So then the AI bot is going to write a response. We'll give it a couple seconds. There you go. Totally fine. Put simply, it's a way to grow money tax-free, leave money for loved ones, and protect yourself if you get sick or hurt. I can explain more if it looks like a fit for what you're doing. Just curious, what was it that piqued your interest about the IUL specifically? The tax-free part, I'm scared about taxes going up. And there we go. AI bot is now going to send a reply. And it's literally going back and forth with your leads, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just going straight for the appointment, but it's going to confirm a few things so that those appointments actually show up, right? Like if you think about whenever you are talking with a company or you book an appointment, like you want to have a little bit of an interaction first before you just go straight to the call. So here we go. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people are looking into the tax-free vehicles now since taxes are practically guaranteed to increase in the future. Truth is, we don't know if this would be a fit for you yet. At this point, we'd just like to get you some more info and show you how it works. If we were able to reserve you a time to walk through an illustration and answer your questions, you feel like that would help? Yeah, I think that might help. And there we go. What it's now going to do is it's going to pull times directly from our calendar availability and send them over to the prospect to show them what times we're available to meet them. So check this out. Here's some times, some of the earliest times: today, Friday, and Saturday. Let's see. Do you have anything Friday morning? So then it's going to check and see if we have anything for Friday morning. The earliest available time slots are, I don't know why it's saying AM. That must be an issue with the calendar. Let's do 9 a.m. if you have it. It is AI, so you do have to expect like the occasional like weird thing to go on. But overall, I don't know why it said 1:30 a.m. That's pretty crazy. I don't have 9 a.m. Closest Friday slots are 6 a.m. and 6:45. No, those are too early. And then let's see if it can work with me and find a better time. Let's do 9 a.m. Saturday. Don't have 9 a.m. Saturday. The closest times are 1:30 and 2:15. 1:30 works. There we go. And it'll book the appointment directly in my calendar. You'll get a reminder before the call. Anything else you want to ask before that? Boom. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you want access to these AI tools, I put together a guide called the Insurance Agent's Guide to the AI Revolution. If you want access to that, just click the link down below this video to get access. It's for a very, very reasonable, low cost that you can get access. And it's going to not only like give you access to these tools, the tools are extra, so it's a free trial that you'll get access to them, but it's also going to show you step by step how to start implementing AI into your business so that you can future-proof yourself so that you are one of the agents that is supercharged by AI and not replaced by it. So if you want access to that, just click the link down below in the description and go ahead and get a copy of the Insurance Agent's Guide to the AI Revolution. I'll see you in the next one.